Hi, welcome back to Teaspoons of Flavor, and today I'm going to be making dinner rolls. If you like this video, share, comment, subscribe for more. The ingredients you're going to be needing is 4 cups of bread flour, but you can use any type of flour you have. This is just really good for bread, as in the name. 1 cup and a little bit more, I would say like 2 tablespoons of warm milk. 7 tablespoons of white sugar. Some dry milk powder, teaspoon of salt, about 3.5 tablespoons of butter, 1 egg, and some instant dry yeast. I'll make this really tasty. So, first thing you want to do is get this warm milk. I just put the milk in the microwave just for about a minute or two. Then I'm gonna be getting a little bit of the sugar, about 1 spoonful, putting it in the milk, mix it around a little bit. Then we're also going to be adding in the yeast. Now you don't have to do this step, but what it really does is it helps the yeast bloom a little bit, just so that it can get started on the process. And now you can just let that sit for maybe like 5 minutes, and then we'll get back to the recipe. As you can see, the milk has become kind of bubbly, so that means that the yeast is started. So we're going to pour this into this bowl. Make sure you get all of it. Alrighty. Then we're also going to be needing to crack the egg. And so now all of these ingredients are all at room temperature, just so that they can begin to mix easily. Just like that. That should be good. Rub that in. Very nice. And then mix this together. And be adding in the rest of the sugar. I like to do these all one at a time just so that they can mix good. Add in the instant milk powder, or the dry milk powder, sorry. Add in the salt. And then now we can begin to add in the flour, again, slowly. So this should begin to start forming into a dough. And so then what you're going to want to do is just begin to knead it. It's going to be kind of soft and kind of sticky, so it's going to want to cling to your hands, but just continue working it and it should begin to come together. Alrighty, so I swapped over to a bigger bowl just so I could knead it a little bit more. I've been kneading it for, I'd say, about 10 minutes. I had to add in just a little bit of flour, but that's okay. And so now I'm going to be adding in the butter. Add that in. Spread it around a little bit. And the reason it's so soft is because I had it at room temperature. And then just want to fold it in there. Now what this is going to do is it's going to make the dough really supple. Mix it in there. And probably take a couple minutes, but it'll be good. It'll be really worth it in the end recipe. Alrighty, so I've been mixing the dough with the butter for, I'd say, like 5 to 10 minutes. And it should be about this consistency. It should still kind of stick to your hand, but once it comes free, it should come clean, just like that. And so then, in this bowl, I added in a little bit of oil because now we're going to let it rise for an hour to an hour and a half so the yeast can do its work. So first, I'm going to be making this into a little dough ball. Okay. Put in a little bit of oil. Mix it all around. So then, I'm gonna leave this for an hour to hour and a half, and I'm gonna cover this with a towel in a warm place. We'll be back in a little bit. So after letting it rise for 1 hour, it should have doubled in size, just like this. Now it should be very supple. So then now we're gonna be taking it out and we're gonna be rolling it and kneading it. Feels great. Okay, we're gonna add a little bit of flour to our kneading area. Just like right there. Add a little bit to our hands. I'm gonna take it out. Move it to the top. Don't add too much though. Then you want it to be really nice and soft. Okay. Over here. Okay, so now what we're gonna do is we're gonna be rolling this out and folding it over itself 6 different times. So we're gonna grab a rolling pin just like this. Start going at it. Should feel real nice and soft. And if at any point during this process your dough begins to feel really tough and it's hard to spread out, then what you can just do is put it back inside of the bowl and let it rest for about 10 to 15 minutes, and that should relax the gluten so that it can be reworked again. Alrighty, so then and be folding it over itself. I usually like to do it into thirds, just like this. One side over that, one side over like that, and then roll it again. And so you're just gonna be repeating this process 6 different times. So we've let it rest a couple minutes now, and so the dough should look just like this, real nice and supple. And so now we're gonna be dividing it into 15 different pieces because that's how many rolls you're gonna be getting out of this. And you can divide it however, which way you want. I'm gonna be using a weighing. They've all been divided into 15 individual pieces. I'm gonna be rolling them into tiny little balls, and we're gonna let them rest for about 15 to 20 minutes. And then once that is done, we're gonna start rolling them into the shapes. You're also gonna wanna cover these with a towel so that nothing gets on them. And if you want any reference, mine weighed about 68 grams. My original dough weighed about 1,020. Alrighty, cover these with a towel, let it rest for 15 to 20 minutes. And while they're rising, you always gotta make sure that you're greasing your pan before you bake it, because you do not want these things to stick. And use a generous amount of butter. And or any other type of oil. So now, these have done resting. And so now we're going to be rolling them out into the shapes that they're going to be baked in. So what I like to do is I like to roll them out kind of flat. And get them started a little bit. Let me stretch it out just a little bit. Okay. Nice and thin. Then I fold it over itself like that. Stretch it out a little bit more so it's nice and even. Just like this. Make sure you get all the sides tucked in so nothing is out there. So then it should be just about this little size. Kind of looks like a cinnamon roll, but without all the sugar and the cinnamon. And so then we're going to be placing them into the greased pan. I would say probably fold side down. And so then we're going to be fitting as many as we can in here, with giving just a little bit of space so that they can poof up a little bit in the next proofing process. I will repeat it again just so you guys know how to do it. I'm going to stretch it out a little bit. Roll. Fold it over itself. Roll out a little bit more. And then go ahead and start rolling it. Make sure to keep all the edges tucked in. It should look just like that. And so you're gonna wanna repeat this process with all your other dough rolls, and we'll begin with the next proofing process. So I was able to fit around 8 rolls into this one container. Now, of course, if you have a bigger container, then you can, of course, fit all of them. But next step is proofing them. We're gonna cover them with the towel again, and we're gonna let it rise for 1 more hour, and then we'll get to baking. Alrighty, so we've let the bread rest for an hour and a half, and let's see how they look. Oh, they look beautiful. So puffy and nice. They rose a lot. Alrighty, so now we have the oven preheating at 350 degrees right now, Fahrenheit. And before we put them in, I went ahead and beat up an egg, and we're gonna be using this as an egg wash. Just so it gets real nice and glossy, just on the top. Look beautiful. You don't want too much, but you don't want it tasting like egg, but just so it looks very nice. And you're also going to be baking these for around 15 to 20 minutes if you have like 8 or so like this. But if you have all of them baking at once, then it's going to be around 20 to 25 minutes. Alrighty. I think that looks very good. And so now we're going to be putting them inside of the oven. Just like that. So we shall check on them in 15 to 20 minutes. Alrighty. So it has been 20 minutes, and so now we're going to be checking on the bread. Ooh, that looks nice. Look at these guys. Very nice top. Alright. We're going to be checking them, see if they're done. Comes out clean. There's nothing. Alrighty. So this is the final product. If you enjoy these videos, like, comment, and subscribe. Share for more.